Wow. Oy, oy, oy. Halfway there, guys. Damn, dude. March 15, 9/11 in the morning. Sunday, should I say. It's warming up now. You can feel the sun. Let's see. It is 60 degrees, and that's cold for somebody in San Diego. I get cold a lot faster now. It's gonna be in the 70s, 74 around 1 p.m. Nice. Ay, ay, ay. Is this what we pay for now in Southern California? Do we pay for the weather? Pay all these like taxes, and new taxes coming up, and everybody's filling up the gas, and they're you know, I don't obviously, but I think I'm going to pretty soon. Now that I take public transportation, I pay 250 on anything I ride. Back in the day, you could ride, well, you still ride the trolley. You can buy it for a couple hours, and the ticket goes, till it expires. But back in the day, when you rode the bus, you got what you call a transfer. So you had to go like another bus going, another direction. The only thing you can do is you can do around, what do you call it? Uh, there and back on the same bus. Most of the bus drivers wouldn't care. They would just take the transfer. It was just a paper, they give you a can transfer. And they rip it up, They punch it, what time it expired. That was all. But they wouldn't care. The ones that are like real diligent, they're just like, hey, that only happened one time. And that's when I used to go to City College. They did away with that a long time ago, I guess. It's 250 each way. So, that adds up. So, I saw all the kids, they go to school and stuff. Oh, they used to have phones. There was an app. And I saw the trolley station too. There's like a thing and you just like scan it, I guess. So I don't know how that works. But yeah, it's an app. And you just and you load money onto it. But I noticed that the last time I used it, I did like something like $5 or $10. And my last 250 that I had, it didn't it sounded like a beep, but I didn't take it. So, and she was cool. Like I said, bus drivers are pretty cool, man. Unless they know you're an asshole or a dick or something, or a pain in the ass, they'll grill you. But yeah, like sometimes like I wouldn't have like the 50 cents. Like go ahead, and it's just like you have to push for adult or child. So 50 and a child is 125, I believe. So you got to push like the button, and then it takes longer. Put the $2, and then add the 50 cents because if you two $3, which I used to at first because I never had quarters, it's not going to spend 50 cents. I'll take the $3. I'm like my 50 cents. So the bus driver look at you, so you shit a luck. Yeah. So yeah, everything's off your phone now. Oh, it's my buddy. What did he send me? What bullshit did he send me today? What do you gotta think about turtles? Tortoises. I like tortoises, man. Those were my fun. Like when I used to go to the zoo. So I'm trying to get back to my regular sleep. The last this week, so I just been like off kilter on my sleep. I've been just up all night. Sleep all day. Up all night. Sleep all day. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. That reminds me. Let me check my blood sugar. You know, these aren't great numbers by some people. 165, like, oh, it's got to be lower. No, you don't understand, guys. See right there how it's in the green? Well, the thing is, I just told my wife that 2 days now I've been not taking my insulin at all because the doctor got me on a new medication since last month. It's one of those like GP here. It's called Manjaro. There it is. It's a tyrosine, tyrosine, whatever. It's supposed to help lose weight, obviously, and it is prescribed for diabetics. It's not like a diet help like the Ozempic that everybody's taking now. So it's a once a week subcutaneous injection approved for treating type 2 diabetes by improving glycemic control. See? Leading to significant weight loss as a secondary benefit. It works to mimic both the GLP-1 and the GIP hormones, which slow digestion and reduce appetites. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting. Oh, that's why. Yeah, it does have those side effects where the nausea once in a while, the diarrhea was really the vomiting now. But it's not as bad as they had me on another one, and I don't see that one anymore. They put me on that one like 4 years ago, and I had to quit taking it. But this one seems to help. The only problem was that I was taking this on top of my insulin at the same dose, and my blood sugar was just dropping like too fast, too low, and I couldn't keep it up. I'm like, whoa, and I was like drinking juice and soda and eating candy constantly to try to keep it up, and it'll come up to like 80 if I was lucky, and then for a normal person that's normal, but for a diabetic, like insulin, that's gonna and it will go right back down again. Like it'll burn it up and it'll go back to 70. And I start beeping because it's got the sensor goes off at like it's yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it goes out for like 60 yeah. It's got a range. If it goes too high and too low, you can set it. Oh, I mean, of course, when I first, got put on this thing, yeah, once I like it was set like at 250, and I was like, so it helped me, what I'm talking about. It's a sensor that you put on your thing. Oh, let's see. Oh, sorry. Guys. Anyways, it's called Libre. There's other ones now. You put it on there. Um, and it helps you manage your blood sugar. You're still supposed to poke yourself, which I don't. I just go off of this thing. But it helped me. It helped me figure out. I already know what I'm not supposed to eat, but it helped me the things that I'm okay to eat, like your carbs, like rice and pasta. Like, hey, it's okay to eat some, but it's like smaller portions. Buenos dias. Who's on here? Hello, Roswell, New Mexico. Hey, how you doing, San Diego, California? How you doing, Mister? And that was who was it? Captain Trips and VR guy. How you doing? When is this guy now? Wake up, bake. Yeah, I wish, man. I'm out, bro. But have two for me, please. Have two for me, Mister NA 4798. What's for breakfast, OG? I don't know yet, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know what's for breakfast yet. The chef's not up yet. I'm from San Diego, California. San Diego, California. I'm on the beginning of I'm still in what they call consider Southeast San Diego, and the lovely community of Encanto, right before Lemon Grove, right before South East County. If you'd like to know, where are you from, by the way? Good morning, thank you for coming on. People, say hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Help me reach 500 this year. I'm at 411. I picked up some subs from the last live stream. That's what I noticed. I pick up a lot of you people. Thank you very much. I wanna. My goal is 1,000 or more to stay get monetized soon. Weather's like there. The weather here? Oh, that's the question. Greetings from Portland. Hey, Portland, Oregon, right on. Whereabouts, man? I was over there. God, that was the last time I was working on the road. I was in Beaverton. I was staying in Beaverton. We're working at the Intel job site over there. I've been to Diego many moons ago, back in 2013. Right on. Went back, check out Chicano. Yeah, Chicano Park. That was my old barrio because I used to go to elementary school there. So I had family that lived out there and stuff. So there. Have you ever been to the car shows there and stuff? That's what I want to go. Well, without getting shot at and stuff. But I got an idea that I was talking to another person that subscribed, uh, McLovin. He was telling me, and we were talking about what to do and stuff, and that's what I want to do with my channel now. I want to rebrandish my channel since I get out more now. And I just don't stay at home now. I want to start doing like live streaming. The only problem is that the signal is not very good sometimes wherever I'm at. It cuts out. But anyways, I digress. So I have to like dig videos stuff to make videos and stuff too. And I want to show San Diego, and I want to show areas of San Diego that a lot of people don't know. Like, yeah, Logan Heights is one, but I want to show areas of Logan Heights that people aren't gonna know. I mean, they're gonna know certain areas that are like hip and everything because it's changed because of the stadium and the some of the coffee shops. But if Cuatro Milpas, I don't know if you know that restaurant. They closed down, but they're gonna reopen in a new area down the road, and I'm gonna go check it out when they're gonna do their grand opening. I think it's gonna be in April. Yeah, San Diego's beautiful, man, but it's expensive, brother, and it's gotten more expensive, way more expensive, unfortunately, man. And one of the problems with San Diego that I see now, and I'm seeing it more in my eyes, unfortunately, is the homelessness and the mental illness out there and stuff, and the lack of help that these people are getting. It's saddening, you know. Um, I don't know if you ever heard of Nick Shirley. He's unpopular, I guess, for the things that he exposed. But he was here like a couple months ago, and I wanted to reach out to him and say, "Hey, man, please, like address this. It's like address this to Gloria or mayor. We've had bad luck with these mayors. That just don't really. Man, I don't want to get into politics, but anyways, yeah, that's one thing that I really, wish got taken care of, or got help because we are basically turning to a mini Los Angeles. Um, our downtown area is turning to Skid Row. It really, really, it really is. It really is. Logan Heights is not what I used to be. Not what it used to be. A lot more gratification. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? It got stopped. They were really trying to like push it bad with the stadium, but the people fought back, and some people helped them out because they're trying to push out the people that own those houses for like 40 plus years or even longer. They're just trying to take over and like build condos and like no, 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 no. This is Logan Heights is a landmark of San Diego. It's the heart of San Diego, whether you like it or not. And you're not gonna just come in and do that like they did like with the gas lamp in downtown. Some of these old businesses just got taken over, and it's bullshit. Mm. When I went to Chicano Park and stuff, Logan businesses were out and active. Yeah, San Diego's beautiful. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the messages. Maybe I should put them on my tablet so I can read the messages. Anyways, going back to Mr. N.A. Oh, you are Mr. Sorry. Yeah, man, I was working over at the Tesla at the Intel plant. And I was staying in Beaverton, but I got sick and I had to leave. Really beautiful area, by the way, Beaverton. Not saying anything bad about Portland, man, but Portland was right. It was in 2020, man. Yeah, it was right in the middle of the Rona stuff, but it was when all that the protests and stuff. and all I would hear was just like ambulances and cops just going down the freeway all night long, dude, all the time, and like, dude, just yeah, man. I stayed away from Portland. I was like, I drove through Portland and this really, just stayed in Beaverton. Oh, yeah, yeah. So yeah. All right. What else was I saying? A lot of homeless addicts in Portland. Yes, I know. I know. I've seen it firsthand. You know, because we had to drive through Portland when we had to go through or whatever, gas up, whatever. One thing about the Portland trip that was, and I didn't like understand it, but I guess that's like a state law or city, because I went to Portland and when I first crossed to Portland, they had to do that, where they have to do your gasoline. You can't do your own gasoline. There's like the good old days, where they like they paid you pay, and then somebody fills up your gas. But if you do diesel for whatever reason, diesel's okay. And I asked, and they said that a long time ago something happened, or there was an accident, and something like that. It was an accident. Somebody like caused a fire. How that happened, I don't know. I mean, I could see it happening. He probably had a cigarette or something. I don't know. Well, yeah, man. San Diego, California, man. It's beautiful, but it's it's changed a lot. It's not the same San Diego. I mean, it's even changed in the time that I came. And that's what I'm starting to realize, because I've been kind of sheltered, just staying at home, and I'm starting to get out now. Now that you know, um, I was sheltered for a long time because this is my stroke and everything. Now I'm more mobile now, and then uh, I can't afford like Ubers like I used to. And I got so many appointments a month that it add up. So I have to just like take public transportation now. You know, so I might take an Uber in the morning to go somewhere, but the rest of the day I'll be just private transportation, and I'll just walk home. It'll be at least 2 to 4 miles a day walking. On that day, and I get my exercise. I'm tired, but I feel good now. I mean, and I live on a hill that's kind of in two parts steep, and that's my. It's like when you run, or I don't know, when you're in high school and you did sports or whatever, or PE, and you had to finish the end of the thing with a sprint. That's how it is up the hill. It's like a incline, and my legs feel, but it feels good. The breathing. Now I can do the hill, even when I go down the hill to go get a lottery ticket or go buy a Monster or whatever, or if I'm lucky sometimes to go to the local dispensary. Um, it's it's I can do it all in one shot now. Before I had to stop at least 3 times. Back when I was really sick, I wouldn't even do it because I would get all dizzy and I had to like almost pass out and throw up. Now, man, I can do it, and like I breathe a little bit mild, like I get up. Yeah, it's good. I feel good. I'm more mobile now. I mean, it hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it hurts. It hurts my legs. It hurts my back. That's what I'm being seen for right now. I went and saw my back doctor this week, and or the specialist, whatever you want to call him. He injected me last month, and he asked me. I said, "Nah, I only held for a couple days." And okay, and he went over first he checked me out, then he went over. He was checking me out certain areas. So touch, yeah, it hurts there. Yeah, it hurts there. Like, okay, we'll try to touch your toe. No, I can only go this far where it starts bothering me. And okay, all right. He opened up his laptop. Yeah, there's your MRI here, and he starts going through it. And he just basically on the lower part to set the L3, L4, L5, and the S1, which is the bottom part, right where your tailbone goes like that. Are you doing physical therapy? I'll get to that in a minute. Because I'll lose my train of thought. I've had back problems basically since like the '90s, but I didn't get diagnosed till like 2011. I was moving the TV yeah, on the council and everything. Instead of taking it out and moving I just like moved everything. And I slipped disc, and it was on right on the way it moved. It was right against the nerve. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyways, when they did the MRI, they noticed that besides that, I had stenosis of those. So ever since 2011, that's been in my head. So now it's 2026. So it's been from being moderate, mild, and moderate to severe. So now getting back to your thing, and I'll get to the CBD also. Shh, wait, stop it, boy. I what did you ask? Therapy. I was doing therapy for my stroke. Yes, right away. Within a week, they set me up, and I was doing therapy, going there maybe once or twice a week. It was, um, and I was motivated. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. Like just my mindset. I'm gonna get better. I was still kind of like, it's like my brain and just like my speech was not as good as it is now. That's how this YouTube channel started because I was practicing on my laptop how to speak so I could pronounce words and just watch how I spoke. And so, you know what? I don't have enough memory. Why don't I just start doing YouTube videos or live streams and then I'll just save it and I'll have to like take memory on my laptop. And I couldn't figure out what drive it went to anyways, my laptop. So now that happened in April. So April, May, June, July. Around June, July, I just started having like these really like just bad like headaches, but they weren't like regular headaches. They were like more like pressure in my head and like from the back to the front, and it felt like my eyes were gonna pop out. I mean, that's the best I could describe it. I mean, it's just like it was really bad pressure. I'm like, and I'm just like just I just go lay down, man. If I can make it to bed, I go lay on the bed. If not, I just like sit on the couch and just pass out on the couch because that was like the best thing that could happen. It's just like I'll just sleep it off. And I hate to admit this nowadays, but that's really how I felt. And I say, you know what, man? After working on the road back before I was diagnosed with a stroke and had my stroke, um, I was going across country to get to Michigan and Indiana to go work and whatever, and then back to Oregon to work and stuff. I was sleeping in my truck a lot of times, and I wasn't feeling well. But I was thinking, you know what? I didn't die on the road. I didn't die in some motel. It's like at least I'll die here in my living room or in my house. And I said that's it. Like I'll die comfortably, and that was my mentality. I made an appointment to see my doctor. And this is in August. My family practitioner. I saw her, and God, man, she's good. And she's not even a doctor. She's a nurse practitioner, actually. I actually I discredit her by calling her a doctor. She's a nurse practitioner, but she's the only one that's been on my side. So I told her what was going on, and since she knew my history, since she started seeing me since day one, after I got sent to her for my stroke, she's all, I'm really concerned about what's going on, what you're telling me. And that's how she looks at me. She looks at me just like that, but in my face. But that's the best look I can know. She looks at me like that. She wears glasses too. And I said, I'm really concerned. Did you drive here? Did you get a ride? If not, I'm going to call an ambulance right now. I want you to go to the emergency right now. I'm like, what? No, I don't want to go. And like a kid, because I hate going. It's just a god awful thing, the whole emergency thing, and yeah, it's just yeah. I said, no, my dad brought me. Are you sure? Yeah, you want to check? He's outside in the parking lot. No, I believe you. Okay. So she said, you have to go there. And tell them what? They're going to like, no, no, tell them you had a stroke. And they'll like take you right in. So she told me to lie. So I went outside, got dispatched, and, got in the car. Dad drove me home. And Came in here and then he eats later on, so he started going stuff in the kitchen, doing whatever. I went straight to my bedroom, got my backpack, threw all my medications in. Cause that's the one first thing they ask you. What kind of medications you taking? I'm like, dude, I can't think. So I just throw all my medications. I got like one for daytime and one for nighttime in big Ziploc bags, you know. And then I throw those in there. I threw some pajamas. What else did I throw? I threw my headphones. I threw my battery charger or my phone charger, and that was it, man. I'm done. I'm ready to go. Oh, my hoodie. I put it on. All right, and I came on, Dad. I need a ride. Where you gotta go now? Okay, dude. I said, no, I gotta go emergency right now. She just told me. He looked at me. Yeah, I gotta go. So he dropped me off the emergency. They did an MRI. It's like I told this story, but I haven't told it in a long time. They said, no, you didn't have a stroke. You're fine. Get out of here. Like, like that morning, like at 3:30 in the morning. I was up all night. They woke me up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, you gotta come back to the hospital. No, you guys said I was fine. You have to come, dude. You guys let me go. I'm arguing with them and stuff. Okay, after having a stroke, did you have orthopedic? I don't even know what that is, brother. No, I didn't have to wear any orthopedic stuff. What I had was a mini stroke. But like I said, when they did the MRI, I was with my mom, and to this right here, it was on this side, back here behind the ear somewhere here, that little white dot. And I said, hey, can you go back? Yeah, sure. Okay, she went over it, but she went from the bottom again, like back here. Okay, can you go back again? And okay, sure. And then okay, and she goes, and I look at my mom. Did you see that? And can you go past it? Yeah. I said, and I asked the neurosurgeon, did you see all those white dots there? Oh, yeah. I kind of like around, I'm not lying. I'm kind of about like, I guess I don't remember. 3 to 4, no. It was more like to six, counting that one that she was pointing out. Are those little dots also like strokes? Yeah, it's a possibility. There were many strokes. I said, well, can you see when they happen? He said, not really, because only if it happened within like yours that happened, a week ago or whatever, or this week. We can't see how long ago it happened. And I remember the symptoms that I had when I had the stroke, the numbness in this hand, my fingers. It happened waiting to go to work one day in 2014. It's happened other times. But getting back to the thing, they released me. They called me back. They found that I had a blood clot in my brain. It was somewhere in my brain, right around where my stroke happened. And then they admitted before they released me, the neurosurgeon said, by the way, that blood clot that we saw last night that we're doing right now, we went back to when you came in April. This is actually in August, by the way. In April, we went and looked at it, and it was there, but we missed it. The only thing that it was down here by your neck, and it was smaller. So it moved from somewhere in my neck all the way up towards my brain up here, and it was bigger. And I'm like, and I'm still like, I'm still kind of like from the stroke, but it kind of started making sense. So, okay, so they released me, and they put me on some blood thinner for the rest of my life, real expensive blood thinner. Um, and then I went to therapy the next that following that week, and I get there and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go, and I told the therapist, hey, by the way, I had a stroke, and he looked at me. No, I told him the blood clot, and he looked at me, what? Oh, no, hold on, stop. And then when he talked to the main person, he said, no, dude, you can't do any therapy, whatever. So I got stopped doing therapy since then. I never went back. Yeah, I have nerve damage. I got a little bit of nerve damage still on this side. My arm is weaker, like all the way up here. Uh, it's not as strong, obviously. I mean, my left side is my weak side, anyways. I mean, I'm grateful with that, because that's one thing you start learning, that how your brain works, that what controls what, you know. speech, or what creativity or emotional and stuff. You start figuring that out later on. But yeah, down my leg. And I was telling that the back doctor. He was telling me, "Well, do you feel this?" I'm like, "You know what? This is my stroke. I have a hard time wishing on my left side what's what." The best way to describe it is like when I would step on something, like I have tile in my bathroom and in my kitchen, and it's cold, especially in the mornings. It's cold, and when I would step on it, I'd have to jump because I thought it was wet. And the brain couldn't distinguish that it was cold. So like the best sensation I could explain is that it felt like it was wet the bottom of my feet. Yeah. So that's you. It's weird at first, man. I couldn't wear socks for the life of me or pants. Shirts, it took a while, and I started just hoodies. Like right now, I feel comfortable not wearing a shirt, and I'll just put a hoodie on. But then as summer happens, and I have to go out, I have to wear shoes. I wear shorts most of the time, but sometimes when the pants was the worst because when you touch yourself, here, you feel skin, right? You feel skin on hand, right? But when I do it here on this side or on my leg, especially, it feels like you're doing it over clothes. You feel somebody's touching you, but you feel like there's a layer. That's how it feels on my leg, compared to like this side here. Here I feel the pressure and I'm like, okay, I know there's clothes there, but here it feels different. Do I have drop foot? I don't even. Can you elaborate on that? I don't understand what that is. Drop foot. I'm sorry. I've been missing your. I'm gonna go on my tablet here so I can see the chat. By the way, I appreciate it, man. Thanks. I like to what do you call it? I like to interact with people. That's why I like doing live streams. Here we go. I got my tablet. There we go. Can you move toes? I have certain parts. See, some parts of my foot are numb. Some parts of my foot are numb. Some parts of my foot are numb. Yeah, they're numb. Let's see. I'm going back. Do you do speech therapy, occupational therapy? No, I've never done any of that stuff. And have you tried CBD for pain? Yes, I'll show you what I tried. This is the best stuff. So, the best the doctors could ever give me for pain, because this is my stroke and the blood clot. They took away the baby aspirin, which didn't do shit. They put me on this new medication, or fairly new, called gabapentin, and they gave me 100 milligrams. So they told me take one in the morning, and then they gave me 200 milligrams also. So take one in the morning for the 100, take a 200 in the afternoon, and then 200 in the evening. So now they got me at 300 milligrams. Gabapentin now is the new replacement for pain management, for anything. They don't want to give you anything now, like any kind of narcotic, or what do you want to call it? You know what I'm talking about, right? Any kind of pain med. This is the replacement. But I know firsthand that what the side effects are, and I don't like it. And I've been reading up on it, and it's gonna be in the next probably 10, 15, 20 years. It's gonna be the new lawsuit because people. It's actually for people that have seizures, but they're giving it as a pain medication for diabetics and people that have problems with pain. And I don't know if you know about pain. It's not it doesn't heal you. It's just mask it. It makes you dopey. but it gives you brain fog, and that's what I've been having too lately. A lot of fog, like I don't know how to explain it. Like you haven't slept for days, or you just slept too long, like the next day, and yeah, I don't like saying hungover because people, oh yeah, hungover. No, they start thinking that stuff. No, it's not that. It's just like, yeah, have you a great time, Chatty. Thank you very much for describing. Appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. That's what it did. I don't like that. But anyways, I got this. This is a brand name from the local dispensary right here, and it is strictly CBD. No THC. I don't need THC. The only time I need THC is when I take it, and usually I just digest it. I don't even inhale it. Well, I do sometimes. I vape it, but yeah, it's just a balm, and that's what I use either for my knees or my back, and it works, dude. I believe in this stuff. I have my own that I make, but it's not in a balm. I make it like with alcohol. I get the plant when I used to grow my own, just regular, when I had the extra seeds. I grew my own, and it wasn't like smoke quality, but it was medicinal. And then when I harvest it, I dried it up, chop it up, and then just put it in like these big wine bottles, those bottles, glass bottles, and just pour alcohol. But it wasn't just regular alcohol because that would give me a rash. I'd get uh, sugarcane alcohol, and I get it from Mexico. There's an alcohol. It's a sugarcane alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and that helped. And then I put them in the freezer and just leave it there for months, and it helps it break it down faster. And then I put it in small little bottles, and they get real like sticky and stuff. The oil will all come out, and it's just like, I mean, as soon as you put it on, like sometimes my hands hurt, and that's just from the years of working, because I construction and stuff. I get cramps and stuff, and then it just like within seconds. My cousin one time she twisted her ankle. She came over there to visit and she couldn't walk. I was like, "Can I put something on your ankle?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I put it on her ankle. I'm like, "Oh my god, the pain is gone." I'm like, "Did you like that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I told her what it was, and she looked at me. I'm like, "It's not. It's medicine. It's not bad. It's the only thing is that it gets abused, you know." But yeah, and I gave her like a little bottle. Here you go. And then my tia, her mom. So here you go. I gave her a big bottle. Here you go, tia. Just you rub it on your back and on your shoulders and on your neck. It relaxes you. In fact, I'm gonna get some. Make me relax. Carter's aromatherapy design. Back over here for chatting, anyways. Beautiful but expensive. A lot of homeless addicts in Portland, unfortunately. Beautiful. Okay, I'm way back. Sorry. Check out Cat Cream Best CBD. Okay, I'll check it out. That's the thing, though. It just depends on the dispensary what they carry too. All right, I'll check that. I'll look that stuff. Like I said, that dispensary down the street, they carry their own brand name, should I say, mostly um, originals. I don't like them. The one I like is a little further out, down in the middle. There's three of them on the main street here, just like Starbucks. Better than Starbucks, anyways. That'd be kind of cool, man. You know, open up like, yeah, but they don't want lingerers. I was gonna say that a coffee shop, with that, like they used to do in Amsterdam. That was always my dream, to go visit Amsterdam one day, just relax and chill. Mm. When dispensaries first started coming out, before it became like a thing it is now. Um, what was it? I guess in the early 2000s, they had some in downtown San Diego that were kind of like lounge. They let you like relax and stuff. It was cool. Yeah, but they didn't last long. Like I said, there wasn't the it wasn't a state law yet. The Prop 19, I think it was, that finally got approved in 2011. God, it's been that long now. Yeah, Yeah, now they just tax you the shit. It's so expensive now too. Because I don't really go on a regular basis. I go there and I go there because I'm on a budget, and then they tax the shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I take advantage with the happy hour, right? I would take advantage of the happy hour. I mean, hey, that's 10%. You know, like 10% 10%. So that was part of their tip too. You know, I tip them, and now they tried some shit the other day. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, isn't it like 10? You know, it's like, oh yeah, we have, but you have to spend like 50 something dollars to get that 10%. I'm like, oh, well, that's bullshit, man. I haven't asked the other one. That's what they do too. But yeah, that one's kind of like, yeah, and they're always high. The girls, they're always too high to work. There was one girl, she's working her ass off, and the other one's just like, huh, what? You know, it's like, dude, she had all big old titties with her fucking cleavage and shit. And like, huh, what? I'm like, dude, babe, you're not doing me any favors, man. I just like what I need, and that's it. You know? Yeah. But whatever. You know. I don't know if she was the owner. I don't think she was the owner, but whatever. Especially do tax a lot now. They do, man. It's crazy. I was like, dude, I was like, yeah, it was like 11.45 in taxes. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I don't really much smoke flower anymore. Because I look at it as almost a waste. Unless you're smoking it with somebody, it burns up too fast. That's one. Two, um, my lungs. You know, so I vape. I vape once in a while. You know, I'll get a and I'll vape that. You know, I do that. I do that. Preference, but like I said, they're expensive, so I don't really do it very often anymore. It's like a treat once in a while. I'll just like okay, you know, or when I'm really in a bad state with pain and stuff, I'm like no, or it's just I can't sleep and stuff or whatever, and it does help because it knocks me out. That's what I need. You know, I'll tell the person, hey man, and it's mostly girls. I said I need what you recommend. That's going to be the strongest indica or what do you call it? That's a cross. That's gonna and they yeah, and they do. They'll zonk me out, and that's it. You know, they relax me and zonk me out. And that's it. Yeah, I don't smoke flower anymore. Hell, man, even the neighbors don't grow. They used to grow over here, like one house over. Even they have like they just have the little growing thing. They must not have the people that live there anymore. The younger kids, their grandkids or sons. I don't know who they were because the owners they're old, they're elderly now. Hybrid. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Hybrid. Oh man, rub it in, don't you? Well, after you finish that one, do one for me too. You know what, man? I would smoke flower. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's funny because yesterday I live in a rural area here where there's still a lot of trees and stuff. There's wildlife, a little bit of wildlife right out here, and there's a big canyon behind us. Like so, across the street they have the opposite. They're up above the street, but behind their backyard is down into a canyon. Ah, thank you, boss. Gracias, gracias. Take a big one. Um. Anyways, it doesn't happen on a regular basis, but there's a skunk that comes around once in a while, dude. He's a stinky bastard, and yeah, he comes over, and I smell that bastard. I'm like, oh, dude. And first of all, he stinks. I said, you know what? And I was thinking when you said it's funny you think he's flower. I said, you know what? I don't know how old you are, but back in the 90s, what they call chronic was actually skunk weed, is what we call skunk. And it wasn't a bad term. Actually, skunk weed was good weed. It's just it was stinky, skunky, smelly weed, and it was good stuff. That strain does not exist anymore. It I don't know. I don't know where it's at. I wish I could find it somewhere because that was my favorite strain. You know. But yeah, I'm just a straight indica guy. I don't really do well with sativas. Sativas kind of get me a little too uppity. Too I don't know. I'm more of a chill guy. Like it's like just chill, couch potato, listen to music, watch a movie or something. If my attention span lasts that long. But I don't smoke as often anymore like I used to. Like I said, I treat it as a medicine now. I don't treat it as like like a just my thing, my perspective now because I got responsibilities and like I said, um, I got a budget, funds are limited, and that's I gotta sacrifice. That's one of my things I had to sacrifice. Everything's getting even more expensive now with the shit that's going on right now. I'm preparing for it. I don't know if you are. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on. I'm not trying to get political, but this thing is really starting to affect, and it's going to affect more because people don't realize how much natural gas and petroleum really is in everything. It's in every, and even if it's not, they're going to use it as an excuse. They're going to use it as an excuse to just hike the prices. It's not just going to be gas. It's going to be everything that's being used. Plastics and everything. That being said, Mr. Kinsey, I, at my ripe old age of 55, okay, now I'm about 174, so I gotta do my insulin in a minute, alright? So I'm gonna have to step away and get my insulin and do that. Um, I'm not promoting, but I'm just talking about me, that I started, like, kind of messing around now, or getting acquainted with investing, investing, investing. Um, I was tempted with crypto first because I was talking to a friend and he was telling me, and I did my own homework and stuff, and the things that he was telling me. Unfortunately, the site that he was telling me, or the app, which is Coinbase, I've had a lot of issues for weeks trying to get on it. I don't know what I'm not doing right. I need somebody to help me manually figure it out. That being said, number two, Mr. Kinsey, I went on another one, or I want to do stocks too because that's what I've been looking into. Because that being said, three, what's going on? I figured, you know what? I need to look at stocks. What's gonna go? It's been going up. Everything's going up now, and I'm starting to put just whatever little crumbs of money I have just to, because you don't have to invest a whole amount. You can put little amounts of money, just like crypto, and then just help it grow and stuff. So I'm looking at the military industrial complex and the contracts they have. That not only that, the whole. I was talking about my last live stream, and let me go get my insulin before I get on that because that work. Give me a minute. Yeah, it's like I said. Here's the way I look at it. Every week I was going and spending $5, a minimum of $5, right, on lotto tickets. What are the odds I'm gonna get it on? So I said, you know what? Why not invest those $5? Yeah, whoa, boo, woohoo, $5, right? But at least invest it on something that has the potential to grow every day or down, but it's gonna be there. So that's what I'm doing now. I've been doing my homework for months, And they were saying, the people that I was listening to, March, 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 and this is before the war started. Since the war, yeah, they went like this, but then right after that, the oil helped it kicked up. Once the oil reached 100 and almost 110, they started going, and the oil went back down to 90, 99 or 98 or something. Went down because we went into our reserves, right? But our reserves are going to run out. So right now, if you want to invest on oil, go ahead because it's going to go back up. I think it's going to reach 120. I honestly do. The way things are going, but like I said, you got to think of the pick and shovels mentality. Like, what do they need? Not just the oil. What do they need for the oil? What are the materials? And that's what I'm gonna get to. I'll give you right now the vessels. That's what I've been putting in the shipping vessels. The ones that they're blowing up, they got to rebuild some of those vessels. The ones they have are gonna be more valuable. The insurance is not even covering those, so that makes them even more valuable. Those stocks are gonna go up, even though they're going down right now. And that's when you buy in the dip, right? That's the way I look at it. That's what I've learned. I mean, I don't know everything. I don't know hardly anything, but what I've learned, it's kind of like something I'm rolling with right now. Yeah, I'm taking my insulin right now, brother. Thank you. Two brand new boxes. Yay, I'll take two different ones. And like I said, with this Monjuro, I've learned to adjust it now. So this is the short. So I cut down the dose on this one. The long one, I still take the same amount. Yeah, I said I'm not an expert. I'm not advising anything. This is what I'm doing. Just my idea, you know. It's almost like blood money too, but you know what, man? The rich man's gonna get richer as I see it. You know what? I might as well just take a little bit of advantage of what's out there. Okay. And like I said, I hadn't taken insulin for 2 days. Today would have been my third day, but I said I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna. But yeah, there's no need to. If I was like I was under 160 for 2 days, just as long as I maintain what I eat. So that tells me that between the other medication that I'm taking, and I'm watching what I eat, that my pancreas is still well, I'm putting is still producing insulin, some insulin. I thought I was completely out because when they had me on that God, it's the worst medication, man. What is it called? Everybody's on it when they first diagnosed as a diabetic. Um, Fuck, I forget, man. They had me. I forgot me. Just a full on. Basically, just kicking my pancreas to death, pushing it to the limit, making sure I pushed out every whatever ounce of insulin that it had left. What's it called? How do you? How often do you do lives? You know what? I'm gonna try to do one once a day now, and I gotta set a time. Um, I kind of stopped doing them during the day because um, I don't know. Trolls are trolls. I don't care. You know, it was just like, but it was just kind of like they're kids. You know, like it was annoying. But what do you think? Just doing once a day. Actually, I've been getting a lot of positive people. That's cool. I like interacting with people. Um, but yeah, as I get out, more I want to do and show San Diego and stuff and interact with people and show, stuff. Trolls are just bored kids. Yeah, that's true. Whatever. But you know what? Here's the way I look at it with trolls. Trolls, especially the ones that follow your channel, you know, they're loyal. They're loyal viewers. They love you in some twisted way. They love you. It really. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Haters and trolls. You know, it's kind of like that. Kind of like, what do you call it? Abusive relationship. It's kind of twisted in a way, but it's true. Yeah, I just gotta set a time, right? Like a schedule, and I haven't really done that even since I've had this channel. But now that I do have a little bit of a following, I just pop up whenever. Um, but maybe I should do two live streams a day or something, because the thing is, I my channel started growing when I was in the Philippines. I was in the Philippines in 2024 through 25. I was with my family, and I got some the people that helped me grow my channel were Filipinos. So the time difference is 15 hours. So when I do it in the middle of the night, Filipinos jump on there, and then expats, Americans that live over there, they follow me too, and they would like come on my channel. Hey, what's going on? Bear. One live a day sounds good. Yeah, you're right. But that's what I noticed. That's when I get followers now, and that's cool. It's like it helps my channel grow. Like I said, I mean, you're not gonna I mean, that's the only way to monetize, to get viewers. I mean followers, right? But the way you'll get viewers, if you pop up, people see you and stuff, whatnot. Um, Now the way monetization works is that way. So you have to have so many hours of views along with the people, but you got to keep them interested. So I also have to have a product that people are going to be interested to come back. That's my problem. I don't have people that come back, unfortunately. So that's I don't want to say niche, because my niche is just me. This is who I am. I don't pretend to be somebody else. If you met me in person, this is who I am. I'm not trying to be somebody else. So the best way I could say it was another channel I was watching, is a guy in the Philippines, and he says he's rebranding his channel, and that's the way I want to look at it. So I want to be more of a live streamer. I still want to make videos, but the whole editing thing part, I need memory. I need the laptop is just like on its, yeah. So I had other guys say, dude, just make it raw, man. Just whatever you take, just upload it. I said, you know what? He's right. What the hell, It's like, so yeah, those two things. See, all you need is a cell phone. What are you doing right now? Just saying, like, tilt it this way. When you do live streams, they got to be like this on your cell phone. But when you do, that's a bad thing about YouTube, that it only does it on the vertical. It doesn't let you horizontal for live streams. But Kick is another thing. That's another crowd. I don't know if you ever heard of Kick. I was kind of scared. I've been participating on Kick now for a couple months. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh. Kick is another platform that came out, that kind of came out from guys that used to be on Twitch. Twitch, I don't like Twitch. I joined Twitch and I haven't been on it, or like to view, should I say. I opened an account and I'm like, it's not for me. It's a different crowd, which is good for that, it's like a younger crowd. It's more phony to me. Now, Kick is a little bit more real. Raw and uncut is the best way to, in my opinion, that's what got me to subscribe to your channel. You remind me of my Theo. Really? All right. Well, cheers to your Theo. Um, yeah. So, and eggs. Sounds good. That's what the chef's gonna have happen. Ham and eggs. Yeah. All right, dude. That's another one right there. So, I think it's unanimous now. We're gonna be doing raw videos now. Okay. Here's another thing. What's your opinion? Now, when I first did the channel, I did California Bear, um, and the way I came out with that name is because everybody knows me as Oso. Also, everybody knows me as Oso. That's what's been calling me Oso since I was a little Osito, right? As my mom used to call me Osito or Osito, and it just carried on through high school. I never told people to call me Oso. That's what they call me on the football team, on the wrestling team. Um, Through work and stuff. I mean, because in construction, you put your own like initials or whatever, and I was trying to figure out with my initials to do your own like little logo and stuff. I'm like, dude, what do I do? It's like, how do I do this? And with my initials, I did this, and like I was playing around with it. I was still an apprentice, like, and I don't know what I was doing. I was thinking of Led Zeppelin. I was listening to Led Zeppelin. That's what it was, and I was checking out their album, right? And they got, I forget which album it is, but it was Zozo, which was the drummer. They all had like their own like little like logo emblem, you know. So Zozo with a Z and an OSO. I'm like, that's kind of cool, man. So I can do that. So I did also O and an S, like a big old S, O. And I did like that, and I put on my gloves and my hard hat, all my tools, my also, and everyone was like, it's just like that was it, man. And like only one guy picked up on it because he listened to Led Zeppelin. Like, oh, that's just like you got it, brother. That's it. Um, so, anyways, going back to YouTube and stuff, I'm like, well, I got to come up with a name. I got to come up with a unique name, whatever. So I was scrolling one day watching YouTube, and they had an ad for California.gov, and they had the bear. I'm like, that's pretty cool, but it wasn't like the California, like on our flag. But it was different, it was like different drawing and stuff. I'm like, oh, California bear, and I did the 619 because that's the original San Diego. So before they have all these other, then it became 760, then 858. I'm not sure there's any more. 949, I think we have also. I don't know. I mean, Eric, because they got more cell phones. But yeah. So what do you think? Also from 619, yes, sir. I wasn't a gangbanger, nothing, nothing. I was, I quit shaving my head because too many cops were giving me problems when I had to shave head and walking. But man, I shaved my head and it feels so nice again. Oh, it feels, it feels so refreshing and stuff. Yeah, I couldn't find a barber for the life of me nearby, man. And my hair was just getting all like just. I haven't had a haircut since I got back from the Philippines last October, and my hair was just going everywhere. If I wore a cap, it was just all coming out. So you know what? Bought a pair of clippers over at Ross. Got home and just last week just started just shaving myself. I'm like, I don't care, man. That way I can give myself, every couple of weeks just a buzz. I don't care. So I'll keep it at that for now. Everybody on YouTube that that follows me still knows me. Hardly anybody calls me California Bear 619, but the people know. So they'll either say Bear, or one channel will call me California Bear. Well, hey, hi Bear, how you doing, California Bear? Another says CB. I like CB also. I gotta think of a handle now. Now that I'm establishing myself as a streamer, I gotta think about it. So what do you think? You should let the goatee grow. I have no goatee. I can't grow hair, man. I only have this thing, my flavor saver. That's all I can grow. And I do this because I have a, what do you call it? ODD, OCD or whatever. So I do this, and that's when I'm thinking. I do this. I just do this. I do this. I do this and stuff. So no, I can't grow it out, bro. It doesn't grow. It doesn't grow. I got ball, just like I have this one right here. I have that all over again. So it looks like a rat's ass, man. It looks pathetic. It looks dirty. I should, dude. I tried, man. I have some videos. If you go back in my old videos, if I have time to go through my old videos as to how this channel like it has grown, evolved. This video, like I said, started as therapy. And I was telling the story about how, you know, basically I talked to somebody else. I was just feeling sorry for myself, I guess. How trying to accept the change, adapt to myself. How I went from being a union pipe fitter, and having the life that I always wanted. Having a newborn finally. At 50. Yeah, exactly. And I'm never gonna say this is word I'm gonna say right now that he was, what's the word to use? An accident? No, it just happened, and I rolled with it. I took my responsibility, and I do. And then, unfortunately, after he was born and I came back to the United States, I got sick, and ever since then, I haven't been able to work. That might change. That might change soon. Because the way things are going now, and money and everything, it just, I have no choice. You know. But anyways, getting off of that. If you go back to my channel, you'll see where I just let myself, and like, I was just growing out. So I kind of shaved it, and I kind of grew, but it was all kind of crooked because I had to like kind of like brush it over and stuff, like, make it look like a goatee. Yeah, I could say, I could actually say I lived in that. I resided in the Philippines for about a year. Um, I extended my visa, because when the U.S. and the Philippines have a policy where you can go without a visa for 30 days. After that, it's a tourist visa, what they call a tourist visa. So they just stamp your passport. But after 30 days, you have to extend it, and you can get 2 months, right? They used to do 6 months. They stopped doing that. Um, so what I did, I extended for a year, and I was in Cebu with my wife and my son. And I mean, I last saw him. He was a week shy of 3 months, and I didn't get to see him till he was like 4.5. So I got to spend uh, his birthday for when he became 5, his first year of kindergarten and stuff. He just turned 6 last this week, and actually last night he woke me up because his birthday was this week. He had one at school, but they didn't do nothing till yesterday, which was Saturday. He's like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. He was all excited. Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. He was all excited because they had his cake. They're getting all the food ready and everything. I'm like, yeah, yeah, son. He was all happy and stuff. And his mom's like, oh, he's all showing off. He's not showing off. He's just excited, man. He's a 6-year-old. I'm all, and I was gonna say, do you remember? I'm like, no, never mind. She grew up on the impoverished side, so she didn't get to really enjoy some of that stuff. So you know, I gotta keep up with the, yeah, you should let the goat you go. So yeah, I was there. I arrived October 1st of 2024, and I left September 29th of 2025, which I arrived here. It was already October or whatever over there. It's 15 hours difference. So yeah, it's pretty much a year. Yeah. So that's another reason why I work or whatever, because it's like I don't want to get too, I never really discussed my whole case with Social Security and my thing, my case. I'll just say my case, my condition, whatever. But it's been going on for years now. I'm not the most patient person in this world, and it's starting to get to me. It's starting to get to family members too, because they've taken control of things, and it's like it's rough seeing them, you know, having to take care of me. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Also, what I could do physically, as far as like mentally, also. Um, Last month, I thought I enrolled in City College, but hold on, let me move one of my plants. I got chili plants coming out and some direct sun. I'm like, I have to move it. Yeah, City College, and I don't know. I enrolled. I never got the email to sign up and get classes and everything. But I was talking to my back doctor, and he said, hey, well, it's like kind of like said, there's a adult city center across from City College, and they have open classes and retraining. I said, you know what? I've been there. I'm gonna check it out. Okay, so you went to the Philippines on a job or for vacation when a girl pregnant and left her. Okay, all right. Okay, I been going to the Philippines since 2009, and I've been going there and back ever since. I like it. It's just for me. Uh, I back then, I used to, what somebody said, I used to make a shitload of money. I'm not bragging. Uh, I've been a single guy, alone. I wasn't in debt. I always made sure that I, didn't get credit cards, all the build-up. So, anyways, other than just my regular bills, and maybe at that time, my truck, my truck payment was a minimal, and at that time I didn't have a truck payment because I didn't get a newer truck till 2011. Even then, I kept that at the bare minimum and stuff. I could afford to work. Seriously, I'm not lying. In my trade, I could afford to have an apartment and work 6, 8 months at the most a year. Seriously, because in my line of work, we sometimes work a lot of overtime. That's where the money was at. So I used to be real good with my money. I used to like save it. I just didn't know about investing. If I would have just back then, dude, just even a little bit. But hey, that's how we learn. So if I can tell anybody about money, learn to invest. Learn to invest. Learn to put that money and work for itself. Work for you, should I say. That's what the rich people do. That's why they don't pay taxes, because they know how to play the game. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying. So, in 2018, I was working a job that was really stressful, um, both mentally and physical. Working nighttime. I was working 7 days a week. I was working 12 hours a day, right? Okay, and I worked that job for, okay, 7 months. So do 7 months of 7/12s, right? So now the way our union works, or our and through our union, our local, our structure is that we get paid 8 hours, right, at our regular pay. I'm not gonna tell you how much I made, but the package was in the 50s. I didn't make the 50 because taxes, and then some of it goes to our pension, goes into retirement, or pension, taxes, pension, our insurance, health and welfare, uh, vacation fund. That's a big one. The vacation there, just remember that one. That's how I used to do my trips. The vacation fund. So there was a fund that would put money there. So the union would have these different things, and they would collect interest off of that. But then you had your benefits. So that vacation fund, they had a fund where they were collecting interest, but then you could withdraw that money. That was what they call your vacation fund. So that was my plane ticket. And I'd have anywhere from, with depending on how much I worked, 3,000 to 5,000 every time I drew it out. Once a year. So again, I worked 8 hours, right? Then at 10 hours, after 8 hours is time and a half. After 10 hours is double time. So I was making over $100 an hour every day. Now on Saturday, it was time and a half all day long already. Okay, you got me? So Saturday was 10 hours of time and a half, plus the 2 hours of double time. Now Sunday was double time. Again, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I got lucky on this job, because at nighttime I be I was put in charge. I was the foreman, and now foreman makes more money even on top of the regular wage that a journeyman makes. So there we go. So all that money that wasn't being taken out on taxes was just extra cash. So I was withdrawing cash every week. I was just like, I was helping my mom out. My mom helped me out for many years. And I helped my mom out. I'm not gonna say she had personal things to do. And well, here you go, mom. Mom was all, it's just money, mom. What am I gonna do with money? Here you go. I had to open another bank account, and like I said, I didn't know what to do with the money. All right, so that's that. What do you mean it went to a Philippines vacation actually and got a girl pregnant? I'm asking, why did you leave? Okay, why did I leave? So 2018, I met this person. We hit it off. 2019, I went and saw her again. Hit it off. She ended up being pregnant by me. 2020, I went back, and our son was born. Our son was born on April 12th of 2020, right when the Rona was a thing, or about to be a thing, and it became a big thing in the Philippines. So big that week that we finally got released from the hospital, and she had a C-section. My baby was so big for her tiny little frame. She had a C-section, and we got put on lockdown the next week, meaning we couldn't leave the apartment. So I had a newborn and I had a girlfriend, and we were there, and we couldn't go to the hospital, doctors. Neither her or the baby had anything wrong. All right. The country was locked down. Nobody could fly in or leave the country, even if you were a foreigner. I stayed there an extra month. I ended up staying there for 3 months. I was only going to stay there for 2 months and then come back to the U.S. to start working again. So I didn't leave till actually July. I was supposed to leave in June. I left in July, came back, and that's when all that crap was going on here with the Rona, and you couldn't work unless you either took the vaccine. That was a mandatory thing, which I said this to that mandatory thing. I don't know what your opinion is. That's what my personal opinion was. And to this day, I'm glad I didn't because there's been people having problems with. So some people had vaccines close to what I've had now. So imagine if I took the vaccine, right? I'll leave it at that. So that's why I left. I got sick. Then I got diagnosed with a stroke because I was sick and I ended up having a stroke in 2021. Trying to find a job here. I was working at a deli actually because I was so sick I didn't know what was wrong. That's the story. I don't want to get into detail about how I was trying to seek medical help, and they wouldn't help me because my insurance ran out. And I even went to a doctor that I was seeing, and I said, "Hey, I'll pay for an MRI." His quote unquote, he said, "You cannot get an MRI without insurance," is what he told me. If they would have done an MRI then, they might have found something wrong. Because when I was working, because I had to leave the state back in 2020. There was no work here in San Diego. There was no work here in California. There was no work in Nevada, which I've worked before. There was no work in Northern California. There was no work in Arizona. Everything was shut down. So my business agent, the people at my hall that they can find you a job as a contractor, because that's what we are. We're independent contractors through our union. They call another union hall across state lines, like, hey, yeah, we need people to come work at this refinery over here, or at this factory over here, or at this school they're going to build, or whatever. And like I was trying to actually work at a nuclear power plant in Michigan, and he got it wrong. It wasn't that. It was actually a baby formula. Yeah, which ended up being working good because it was only supposed to be 9 days. I got 3 weeks out of it at nights, so it was all overtime. Unfortunately, what they get paid a lot less than we do. The wages are different from every local to every local, but it was what it was. So after 21 days, the guy goes, "I gotta let you go." Okay, dude, no problem. He just looked at me all like, "Oh yeah, dude." I'm like, "Hey, man, I mean, just my two paychecks because you get your check and then your other check that because they hold a check. Just my two paychecks and a handshake. I mean, that's all I ask for. If you're willing to give me a," he's like, "Oh, you're all right." Hey, man, that's how it is. I've been in it long enough. It's not personal. And even when it's personal, it is what it is. So that's why. So that's what happened. And that's why I started feeling it. I thought it was fatigue. I thought I was working the long hours and I haven't worked. I started feeling that like I lose my balance walking. I'm like, ooh, all of a sudden. And it got worse. By the time I couldn't find any work in Michigan. I drove all through Michigan. Like, no, there's no work. There's no work. And then by that time, my business agent said, "Hey, I found you a spot in Indiana." Okay, well, Michigan, Indiana, I was right there on the border. No, this wasn't like, right there. It was all the way at the bottom of Indiana on the south. The south. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, I was just telling my dad this the other day because we're watching a commercial. We're watching the tournament, the basketball championships right now for college, and the Buffalo Wild Wings came out. Oh, that place is cool. I said, yeah. I said, you know what? That was the most racist places I ever found, man. In the Midwest, they're real popular in Indiana, but right there, man, that's where I discovered the most racism, and it's a subtle racism. It's the part where like they just ignore you. Where you're standing there like everybody just walks by and like they're not even like you're invisible. I will walk up to the bar and the bartender like, you know, nobody will acknowledge you. It's fucked up, man. But anyways, yeah. So that's what happened. I didn't leave her. I had to leave. But when I left her, I took her from where she was at, right? I knew where her family lived. I knew where her mother and father and brother-in-law, I mean her brothers and sister and everybody lived there. But where she actually stayed at, the little, she wouldn't let me go in there. She was so embarrassed. Okay, I'm not going to push it. Where I left her was at a two-bedroom apartment or 1.5 bedroom apartment with a big master bedroom with a washing machine, with air conditioning, with Netflix, and she was happier than shit. With a kitchen, with a microwave, with a refrigerator, stuff she's never had before. That cost me $800 in a gated community, on the eighth floor with a balcony. I didn't care, man. I mean, I could afford it. That's what I was paying for her and my baby. My baby was safe and clean, and she was like on top of the world, man. That's how I left her. But then, things happened, and I couldn't afford to pay that stuff, and I had to tell her, hey, you're gonna have to leave that apartment. Luckily, I didn't, I was in the process of do a lease, and I didn't. And she had to leave the apartment, and she had to go back, and that was the hardest thing on her because she had to go back and not only face her family. Her family took her in, and I'll leave that there without details. But it was the people around her, and you talk about haters and everything, dude. Yeah, she put up a lot of shit, man. And that's what hurt me because my son, I told her, hey, you know what? One thing is with you, but our son, please don't let anybody, you know. Great talking to you. Gotta get going. I will meet the best. Catch you on the next live. Thank you very much. So thank you for coming, Mr. Annie. You've been great, alright? Thank you for letting me express this, alright, man? I gotta get ready too. It's 10:38, and I'm probably gonna take a shower and get their day ready. My mom will come over to visit today. I gotta do some things. Thank you everyone for letting me share that. That's my story. How's everybody like my new haircut? By the way, I got a new bald spot here. It's come back. The stress level has been on a high alert. And I got this one. I got another one back over here somewhere. Big one. So I have to go back to the dermatologist and get some cortisone shots in my head. But anyways, I'm gonna leave too. But that's the story. I'll finish with this. I went back in 2024. I took care of business that had to be taken care of because of the Rona. We couldn't go to the government office and get my son's paperwork done to get his dual citizenship. And that was the number one goal. In the process, I married my girlfriend, so she is my wife now. She's not just my baby mama, she's my wife. And I love her very much. She's a great woman. She's raising both our boys, and I want to make it up to her eventually. That's the goal. I want to see that look she had. I remember how happy and how proud she was having that apartment, and I promise her I'm going to get her a better place than that. That'll be her own permanent. Yummers, girls take the bear any day, so you're lucky you're the California bear. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's that saying is? One person's trash, another person's treasure. And that's pretty much how this person found me. That's another story for another day. I was somebody else's trash, and this person took me in, and she found value in me. Not for looks, obviously. Not for wealth, because I never did that. I never showed hey, I'm rich or anything like that. She just took me in for have a person that just the way I treat her with respect, dignity. She liked being around me, and I had fun with her. Yeah, but I'll make it up to her one day. Thank you everybody who's come by. Thank you for liking. Don't forget to subscribe. Please help my channel grow. I promise that I'm gonna do more live streams. I notice that's how I interact with more people that way. I like interacting with people.